Hey, I'm Kellan Lutz, and you're watching FrConventions. Yeah, my audition for Twilight was interesting, like most of the actors. I was in Africa, Mozambique, Zambia, Namibia, shooting a TV series for HBO called Generation Kill. And whilst there with 32 other actors, there was a lot of workout time. So we all got like really buff playing these Marines because we just had so much downtime. And the audition came in for Twilight, specifically the role of Edward, when we were wrapping up. And at that point, after being gone for 7 months, I missed my family and I wanted to take a break. I just worked straight and I missed my dog, my mom, my girlfriend. And when I read the script, the Edward character was kind of, depressing. So I passed on it. I was like, no, guys, just not really for me. And I came back to the States. I lived in California at the time, and I wanted to go see my mom in Arizona the next day. Or a couple days later. And my manager said, because there was another actor who was booked as my character. And the fans found out who everyone was cast as, and they didn't approve of him. So Stephanie went to the studio, Lionsgate and Summit, and said, hey, we got to change up the actor. And so that's how they reopened the role of Emmett. And so my manager, knowing that the books were going to be a huge success, or the movies were, he called me up and he said, hey, what about Emmett? And I didn't even remember Emmett when I read the script. And so I read it again, and I really liked Emmett's character. He was really fun. Wasn't a main character. I mean, he's influential to the family and the books and the movies. But I read it, and he had some really funny lines, and the audition was the next day, and I was like, all right, sure. And one of the most specific attributes about Emmett is his stature. He's a big guy, Emmett the bear, and I was a big guy, so it was really nice walking into the audition room with, typically actors are kind of small. They just are. And there's actors doing push-ups on the floor, as you do, some do it for their energy, others do it to get that mass, get that pump. And I had that already, so it was kind of funny walking into the room and you see actors look at you and be like, because you're the big guy. And so I walked in there, I said my couple lines, and I was like, cool, I'm done, no pressure. And I was on my way the next day to the airport to fly home to Arizona to see my mom. And I got a call from my manager. And he said that he got a call from casting and that they liked me, and Catherine, the director, wanted to fly me up to Oregon to audition with her. And I was like, okay. And more so like I wanted to go home, but then my team, who I trust, was like, hey, this is huge, you gotta do it. I'm like, okay. So I packed a small little satchel, flew up there, and on my way up there, actually prior to that, Ashley Green, who I've known forever. It's really cool when you're friends with people and then you get to work with them. It's like, hey, there's already this camaraderie. And so they had already started the baseball practice for the movie for Twilight. And they were in the van going to set. Catherine turns around, holds up 2 headshots, and asked if anyone knew Kellan or this other guy. And as soon as Catherine held up the Kellan headshot, Ashley's like, oh my God, Kellan, you'll love him. He's perfect for the role. He's the best. And so she really helped get me the gig of Emmett. And I think that had Catherine say, hey, let's just fly up Kellan, because I was the only one they flew up. And I auditioned, met Catherine, auditioned, loved her energy. We had a really, really great time, and she then said, all right, you're my Emmett, go to baseball practice. And I'm like, all right, cool, what's that mean? And I had no bags, I had to get my clothing sent up to me. And that there was my audition process. Yeah, it's really special. When you work as an actor in film or TV, or especially even theater, you spend so much time. Because typically a work schedule is 9 to 5. So you only have about 8 hours and you go home. A lot of times with these movies, they flew us, so we're outside of our home. We're in an intimate work setting. You quickly bond with your co-stars, and then you're working 16-hour days. A lot of times you get dinner together. You're on set for months, so you naturally get really, really close. And then you add on how successful these movies did and the roller coaster of a ride that you all experienced together. It's hard to find others to connect who will have that understanding. So you naturally, if there's an experience that is so special that you can only share and converse with a few others, you naturally get even closer then. And it's kind of like if you ever watch The Bachelor, right? Bachelor or Bachelorette, the TV show, if they do something extreme like bungee jumping or skydiving or something really like, oh my God, your endorphins grow exponentially, and you have this moment that is solidified in your brain that's super, super unique and special. And that's what Twilight was for us. And then we got to do 5 movies together. So naturally, once the movies are done, you hang out when you're back home, but then we were all really, really busy with other movies. So then when the second movie came, and then the third one, we're all like, yeah, we got to get back together. So yeah, we're all really, really close, which is really nice about the movies. The success of Twilight, I didn't know it was a book series. Honestly, I didn't know. I was quite ignorant. So when I got the role, and then Ashley was like, hey, did you read the books? I'm like, what? There's books? And then I got the books, all 3 of them at the time. I read them so fast. They're easy, great reads. I loved my character. And then Breaking Dawn came out, and we were like, this is amazing. Because it's always cool when a creator, Stephanie Meyer, can write more things. And then she wrote Midnight Sun, and I loved seeing the perspective of Emmett and Edward, and I'm building a house and my contractor's Edwin. So Edward and Emmett's point of view, because you never really got to see Emmett's backstory. Emmett and the Bear, she wrote an excerpt on that. And so yeah, it's been really cool. Reading the books, I like them, they're great.